So is there anything the family could do to try to get baby Fatima to the United States? Joining us on the story, David Leopold. He's an immigration attorney and past president of the American Immigration Lawyers Association. David, great to have you with us. People have so many questions surrounding this executive order. So the first one, when we look just simply at the case of baby Fatima, she's 4 months old. You know, as we heard from her family, she needs to come here for a procedure on her heart. Are we aware at this point of any exceptions with this executive order in a case like hers?
Well, if you look at the executive order, yeah, there's an exception. But the point is, we shouldn't even be looking at this executive order, which is really a Muslim ban. It's an overreach by a president who's promised, for 15 months, he promised to ban Muslims. He promised to deport 11 million people. He promised to build a wall. And now we see the actual real-life implications. We've got a baby, a little girl, my gosh, who needs a heart, he has a serious heart condition. It's a life-and-death situation. Is she one of these detrimental Muslims, one of these dangerous people that we're worried about? What are we doing? This is not who we are as a nation. This is not what America is about.
And we do have to point out, David, the administration has said several times this is not a Muslim ban, this is not about religion, and that is what the administration is saying about this executive order, that it has to do with countries that were identified during the Obama administration. Obviously, this goes much further than the way the Obama administration did identify them a couple of years ago, but they were countries of concern. You talk about the possibility for exception. What are the possibilities, if any, for exception if we know that this ban, at least as far as we've been told, is not going anywhere for the moment?
Well, this is a serious humanitarian situation. My gosh, a child. And, you know, whether you look at Donald Trump's executive order or you look at anything else, this is a human question. This is not about, you know, looking at Donald Trump's flexing of his muscles to show how tough he is. Look, this is a Muslim ban, pure and simple. We can talk about, you know, the fancy legalese by which they tried to write their executive order, but their idea here is to keep Muslims out of the United States. And what we see here is this poor child who needs health care, who needs surgery immediately, who can't get adequate care in her own country. And the justification is that she's somehow dangerous? Give me a break. Donald Trump has taken a sledgehammer to the Statue of Liberty. In the first week that he's in office, he's created chaos and he's created mayhem at the airports, and he's put children and elderly and now a little baby at risk. My gosh, what kind of a man, what kind of a president is this? We need a president who wants a stable America. We need a president who wants to bring the best out in us. This is not who we are.
And I do have to point out again, and just saying what the administration has said, that this is not what is behind it in their view, and that what they are doing is in fact making America safer and stronger. And supporters have come out to say they feel the same way. There are obviously always a number of sides to one story. Give me a sense, though, as an immigration attorney, you have spent years helping people with their immigration status, helping people come to this country. Let's put the travel ban aside. When there is a young girl like Fatima, 4 months old, who needs medical care in the United States, how typically is that process carried out? What needs to happen for someone from Iran, for example? What do they need to show when they want to come here for a medical procedure?
Well, I think what they showed in this case, we heard that they went through 3 weeks of paperwork and probably more than that on vetting. So all those procedures are in place, the extreme vetting that we already have in the system, by the way. Look, when a child like this needs medical care, the way this has worked is that we expedite the process. We move it fast because this child's life is in danger. It is absurd to throw away her visa because Donald Trump does not want Muslims in this country, because Donald Trump wants to deport 11 million undocumented people, because Donald Trump has put out an executive order which will deport children just like her who are inside the United States, which will deport grandmothers, which will go after people who are doing nothing more than working hard to make their family, to give their families a better life. I am absolutely appalled. You know, I'm the son of a Holocaust survivor. My father fled the Nazis, so I am the product of a refugee in this country. And I never expected that on Saturday morning I would wake up to see people detained at our airports because of what they believe, because of their religion, My dad came from a place where people were detained and worse, Germany, because of their religion. And this is not who we are, you know, and today it just gets worse. Every day it gets worse. And today we hear about this poor little girl, this baby who has a heart condition. Where is the compassion? Where is the humanity? What are these people thinking in the White House? I know that, you know, Steve Bannon and Steve Miller, these people who are advising President Trump, they have an affinity for the alt-right white supremacists. They have their own ideas. But, you know, at what point, do they actually...
Mr. Leopold, we're going to have to leave it there. We are out of time. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your perspective. Thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure.